Choke on it! We are here to talk about the sophisticated and intelligent motion picture about the feeding habits of the North American alligator. We, of course, are talking Sewer Gators. And this one is written and directed by Paul Gale. And this is about gators that are in the sewers, as is kind of like the urban legend that seems to be in America, that come up through the sewers and quite literally want to eat your ass. Now, what is the story? So we have a small Louisiana town that seems to be plagued by a rash of alligator attacks, particularly when people are sitting on the toilet or using kind of various bathroom utensils. And this, of course, is going to put cramps in the plan of the local Gator Fest by the mayor, and he entrusts the destruction of the creatures to the local sheriff and a small group of hunters. What will happen? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. So let us discuss Sewer Gators. Okay, Sewer Gators. So if you're expecting high art with this one, if you're expecting an actual kind of movie with a proper narrative, special effects, developed characters, then go watch Alligator or Jaws. Because you're not going to get that in Sewer Gators, but what you are going to get is a very tongue-in-cheek, super low budget, schlocky movie that knows it's obviously very kind of a city movie and takes pot shots at everything from the kind of Louisiana people to kind of the movies like Jaws, parodying scenes and even kind of directly recreating kind of sequences from the movie Jaws and its characters. So what can I say on the positive column? There are some moments that I did find quite amusing. For example, we have the scene where in Jaws, obviously, we kind of have that town meeting. We first meet Quint, and that is recreated in this movie with the kind of their version of their Quint character. And it's all kind of play for laughs, but it is obviously directly parodying Jaws. So it's kind of quite a fun little nod to Jaws. And there's multiple versions of this in the movie. So there are some quite fun things. And I can't help but kind of be somewhat amused when we have literal toy alligators being thrown at our cast, and then our cast expected to kind of like wrestle them and kind of react to them. And you know, we see little plastic alligators drop through kind of taps and things like this, and faucets, I guess you'd call them in America. It's so bonkers, it's so silly. I can't help but be somewhat kind of amused by it all. And I did appreciate some of the kind of the humour here, you know, having sort of swipes that kind of some easy targets, to be honest with you, and kind of redoing these kind of like these low budget kind of parody set of sequences from movies like Alligator or Jaws and kind of things like that. Everyone here is having a good time, and it's obviously you know, an extremely low budget movie. If you've seen movies from, for example, Wild Eye, think that kind of the lower end budget of those films, that's kind of going to give you the kind of an idea about what we're kind of talking about here. The movie is mercifully short. It only runs just over an hour. That includes credits, and there are a couple of like amusing kind of like musical numbers in the movie as well, kind of you know, songs and things that they play, which again they're all kind of play for kind of comic relief here. So basically, if you're a fan of the really low budget kind of schlocky fare that you think, you know, you'd put on at kind of like midnight when you're kind of like inebriated, this is the sort of thing that this movie is really kind of going for. But what doesn't work, I mean, this is the sort of movie that gets a 2 out of 10 on IMDb, let's just be honest here. There's no way you can legitimately say this movie is good in any way, if I'm completely honest, but it's not intending to be. You may even question why movies like that exist, and it's obviously meant to be, you know, just watching it for a laugh, watching it for this kind of the silliness. But I feel the joke will be lost on many people who just want to watch, you know, a kind of a film which is about, you know, killer animals and things like this, and won't appreciate the kind of the, well, it's obviously meant to be a bit of a joke, and instead just be put off by the sheer kind of cheapness of everything here. You know, there are scenes and things here that I feel wear out its welcome. Even if you enjoy the kind of the silliness and the humour here, I still have to say that I think this movie repeats things. It repeats certain musical cues, which become a little bit annoying at times. If you want to do a drinking game, have a shot every time you see the police sign, where it always shows you it before they kind of have a scene when some of the characters in the kind of the police station and things like that. You're guaranteed to be drunk because they do it about 20 times in the movie. Obviously, things like the special effects, the acting, and everything is going to be as silly as you'd probably expect here. But there is actually an attempt to have a CGI creature at one point in the movie, and I will say for the kind of, if you base it on the rest of the budget of this movie, what you're seeing, it doesn't look too bad considering. But obviously, by everyone else's standards, every other movie standards, it's obviously on the kind of the cheaper side, as you'd probably expect. It does kind of take its main kind of cues from the movie Jaws, but that has actually already been done before. We've had movies that kind of parody Jaws in a way, so it's not really doing anything too new with it, to be honest. And you've got to be the right person to just want to have a movie like this on. It's a hard movie to review because obviously it isn't a good movie, and there's nothing I can say which is legitimately going to be a kind of a genuine positive, unless you are wanting to watch a specific knowingly bad film like this. But I do feel that maybe there is an audience for this, albeit it's not something you're ever going to want to watch like more than once, and you're just going to put on just for a joke, really, because it's this knowingly kind of like Plan 9 from Outer Space style kind of bad movie. I did sort of think some of the humour worked, but some of it was kind of stretched out. How can I rate this movie? It's a hard film movie to rate because obviously it's no way ever going to be a good film, but how bad is it in the kind of the knowingly bad scale, if that makes sense? I'll give it a 3. Had it been a lot longer film than this, or even a normal film, I think it would have gone down. But because it's so short, it's obviously somewhat digestible. So if you like it, just a stupid, low-budget schlock fest, then 3 out of 10 for me is on this one. Would you see it? Let me know if you have seen it. Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.